Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Dread Time Stories. I'm your host, Dr. Phobia. Tonight, we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to read you a story from the Vault. What is the Vault, you may ask? The Vault is a collection of stories that has either been told to me personally by a close friend or relative, or a story from the dark recesses of my own mind. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the bay window. I live in an old home, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The architecture of these older houses is something that these modern day cookie cutters just don't seem to have. The one thing I absolutely love about my home is the big bay window in the living room. Whether you're at sunrise or sunset, the view is spectacular. Unless, of course, my dog is hanging out in it and is barking at the neighbor like a wild, ferocious beast. You see, that's what he does when someone walks by the house. Jumps up in that bay window, begins to bark and paw, telling me, hey, there's someone going by the house. You should totally check this out and see if you know them. The other side effect of my dog hanging out in the bay window is because he's a healthy dog. He has a wet nose, and he leaves nose prints all over the glass. It's a bit of a pain in the butt to clean, but that's the one thing he enjoys the most in life is hanging out in that window, so I can't complain too much. One night, after a long day at work, I fell asleep on the couch. And I awoke about 11 o'clock to the sound of my dog barking hysterically. I walked over to the bay window to take a look to see who was walking by at that time of night. There wasn't a soul on the street or the sidewalk. I scolded him for being so loud at that time of night, but I soon returned to the couch and tried to resume my sleep. I was awoken again at 2:30 a.m. by the same thing, my dog going crazy about someone being out in front of the house. I went to the window again and noticed there was no one outside. But on the window, there were streaks. So I figured, oh, more snot to clean up in the morning. After breakfast, I grabbed the glass cleaner and a rag to go over toward the window and clean it. I tried for a few minutes to get the marks to come off the window, and to my dismay, they wouldn't. I began to notice how eerily similar they were to fingerprints, and that's when the horror set in. I realized that the prints were on the outside of the glass.